ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكرى وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فأززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم أن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغن عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا يشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهار فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا صريخ لهم ولا هم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا للذين آمنوا أنطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يخصمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في السور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مرقدنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تعقلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مزيا ولا يرجعون ومن نعمره ننكسه في الخلق أفلا يأكلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن लियुन्दिर मन कान हय्यन व यहिqqal कौनु अलल काफिरीन अवलम यरौ अन्ना खलकना लहुम मिम्मा अमिलत अयदीना अन्आमन फहुम लहा मालिकून वज़ल्लल्नाहा लहुम फमिन्हा रकूबुहुम व मिन्हा यअकुलून वलहुम फ़ीहा मनाफ़िउ व मशारिब अफ़ला यशकुरून वत्तख़ज़ू मिन दूनिल्लाहि आलिहतन लअल्लहुम युनसरून ला यस्ततीऊन नस्रहुम व हुम लहुम जुन्दुम मुहज़रून फला यहज़ुनका क़ौलुहुम इन्ना नअलमु मा युसिर्रून व मा युअलिनून अवलम यरल इंसानु अन्ना खलक़नाहु मिन नुतफ़तिन फ़इज़ा हुवा ख़सीमुम मुबीन वदरब लना मसलन व नसिया ख़ल्क़हु क़ाल मन युह्यिल इज़ाम व हिय रमीम कुल युह्यीहा अल्लज़ी अंशअहा अव्वल मर्रा व हुवा बिकुल्लि ख़ल्क़िन अलीम अल्लज़ी जअल लकुम मिनश शजरिल अख़दरि नारन फ़इज़ा अंतुम मिन्हु तूक़िदून अवलैसा अल्लज़ी ख़लक़स समावाति वल अर्ज़ बिक़ादिरिन अला यख़्लुक़ मिस्लहुम बला व हुवल ख़ल्लाक़ुल अलीम इन्नमा अम्रुहु इज़ा अरादा शयअन अन यक़ूल लहू कुन फ़यकून फ़सुब्हानल्लज़ी बियदिही मलकूतु कुल्लि शैइन व इलैहि तुरजऊन सदक़ल्लाहुल अलियुल अज़ीम। सूरतुल मुबारकतुल फ़ातिहा।
बराए खुशनूदिए मोहम्मद मुस्तफ़ा सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम आवाज़ बुलंद सलावत। रोज़े पे बुलाया, रोज़े पे बुलाया, मेहमान बनाया, मैं खाक था मुझको खुर्शीद बनाया। शुक्रिया मौला हुसैन, शुक्रिया मौला हुसैन और मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलावत। जिंदान खुल गया है, हाय जिंदान खुल गया है, सकीना वतन चलो, सज्जाद कह के गिर पड़ा छोटी सी कब्र पे। जिंदान खुल गया है, सकीना वतन चलो, सज्जाद कह के गिर पड़ा छोटी सी कब्र पे। मज़लूम ऐसे गिर पड़ा, मज़लूम ऐसे गिर पड़ा तुरबात पे बहन की, जैसे हुसैन था गिरा अकबर की लगा है काफिला अब लौट कर वतन, लेकिन तू बहन शाम में, लेकिन तू बहन शाम में कैदी ही रह गई। अरे खाकर तमाचे सो गई जिंदा की खाक पर। करता हूँ याद रो के मैं मंजर वो दर्द का, कानों के जख्म पर जो तमाचा तुझे लगा, बाबा को तू सीना पे, बाबा को तू सीना पे सदा देती रह गई। बाबा सीना पे रोते थे तब तुझको देख कर। अम्मा की तरह तुझको ना मिल पाई थी रिदा, बाबा की तरह तुझको कफन भी न मिल सका। पत्थर भी खाए शाम में, पत्थर भी खाए शाम में, तूने मेरी तरह नाके से गिर के हो गई तेरी भी गुम कमर। मैंने के तुझको शाम से वापस न जा सका, बाबा को क्या बताऊं मैं अब जाके करबला, कुर्ते में दफन करके, हाय कुर्ते में दफन करके बनाई तेरी लहद, आबिद को खून रुलाएगा ये दर्द उम्र भर। जिंदान खुल गया है सकीना वतन चलो, सज्जाद कह के गिर पड़ा छोटी सी कब्र पर। और मोहम्मद मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु is one more kalam in the honor of Bibi Zainab. I witnessed this writer producing this kalam with tears in their eyes. Hope you will appreciate it. Please recite aloud salawat ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. You stood there alone as the night turned to dawn. Your eyes, they have cried, a part of you died. Our martyrs have gone, their bodies all torn. You won't give up yet, your strength you have shown. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. Now your journey begins as you gather those limbs. The eyes they will stare to see your face bare. But know that you're strong and know they were wrong, for surely they'll pay until judgment day. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. For now we will pray for our faith to not stray. Our 3 years won't dry, even after we die. It will always be known that injustice was shown. The pure ones they die for Islam to go on. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. Our wish is to be next to your Dari. Ilahi Ameen. Please do call us there. This pain we can't bear. Our hearts are with you. Our souls are with you. Even after we're gone, our faith will shine on. Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab, Ya Zainab. Muhammad wa ala Muhammad salawat. Please recite Ayah Amma Yujibu 5 times for Shifa Maris. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. Amma yujibu al-mudtarra idha da'ahu wa yakshifu as-su'. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. سورة المباركة الفاتحة. I'll now like to call upon Brother Amin, who has a few announcements.
Sayyid Haider, my respected elders, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Just a couple of things. I get a lot of feedback sometimes in regards to being able to participate within our programs in the sense of helping out. Some folks have come to me saying things like, we feel kind of left out. There should not be that feeling here because there's a lot of work that needs to be done. A lot of places where you as an individual can come, help, and volunteer, right? And I promise you, no one will ever say no. A couple of things that are coming up, and these are going to be important topics that you'll continuously hear us talk about on this podium. And that is coming together as one community. And what I mean by that is we're very diverse now, if you've noticed, over the past several years. This community is becoming more and more diverse in terms of where we come from, I'll be very honest, right? And it is our community collectively as a whole. However, sometimes when we look at where the volunteers are coming or who's helping out, there's a little bit less diversity in that. So I want that to change, right? So typically right now, since we've come to the church, we've had many instances, for example, in the month of Muharram, month of Ramadan, where we gather downstairs in the gym, everybody comes together and helps out. When we moved out of our mosque, everybody came and helped us out. Last week, I asked for volunteers to come help move from one storage facility to another. We had about 10, 11 brothers that came. We all came and helped out. But there's some areas where I think we need to improve some of that diversity in terms of how we're getting and who's helping us out. One is madrasa. Okay, we seem to have a lot of heavy volunteer participation on the ladies' side. I think we can have more men help volunteer. Now, for this year, alhamdulillah, I think all the teachers are set, but I know there's an announcement going out for substitute teachers. Okay, brothers and sisters, we're going to talk about one topic. It's actually two different announcements, but it's related to the topic of death. All right, and I say this because each of us have our own timelines. We don't know when that is, but we're put on this earth to give back, right? Whether it's our wealth, whether it's our time, we are put here to give back, all right? And this is an opportunity to do so. When you help another child learn, there is no, in my opinion, it's one of the greatest rewards that's out there. One, those who do it, if you ask them, it's quite fulfilling, number one. Number two, you as an individual, you know what you get out of it in terms of feeling you get when you help that child, that you're shaping that child's future. It's very important. So I encourage all of you, I know the announcement, I just saw it earlier today. It's going to get out. Please come and help. Even here, parents, I know some of you come from far to drop your children. There are things you can help the administration with each week. There are things, for example, getting them organized in their classrooms. I don't know about getting them their lunches, but there are things that you can do. Ask the madrasa administration, ask the principal, ask where you can help. Again, I promise you, no one will ever say no when you come and offer that help. Second area, and guys, if you can put the slide up, please, the first one. We have Brother Askar, Sister Anribai, the leaders of our Maid Committee, have a instructional session that's open to all community members. Okay. When an individual dies here, there's a process that we go through, right? One is getting to the hospital, one is getting the body released. The bigger aspect is going through the whole ghusl kafan process. And then there's working with the families. There's things that happen at the cemetery. There are things that happen after the cemetery. Okay? This is an area where we need help. Okay? We have a handful of people, both on the gents and the ladies side, that today can perform that ghusl from start to finish. Right? We need more. The volunteers that we have today have been doing it for a long time. Some are now getting up in age. Right? We need more participation here. And again, this is where I'd like to see some of that, I'd mentioned that diversity. We need young, we need elders, we need men, we need ladies. This session here will walk us through what steps are taken, when a death occurs, and how you can help. Now, some people may not be comfortable doing the ghusl, understood, but there are other things that have to happen during that process where you can help. Okay? So please do register. This announcement, there's one announcement that goes out this Thursday with our weekly email. There'll be two announcements in there where you need to register. This is going to be one of them. Okay. There is limited seating. If we run out of room, at least for this session, my understanding from Brother Oscar, I didn't see him here today. I know Sister Anribai is here, but I think there's plans to do additional sessions if we need to do more. But again, please, this is an opportunity, again, brothers and sisters, the benefits, sawab that you get from this, especially when you have to help a family that's in grief, it is countless. So again, I'm asking everyone here to take part in this training. Second thing is, I've said it before in this member, I don't remember which lecture I heard. I listen sometimes to lectures and I'm working at night. And there was a lecture that I heard that sometimes, we all know we're not perfect. I'm far from perfect, brothers and sisters. But the reminder for us on this earth, in this realm, to make sure that we're on the right path, it's like the rumble strips on the road, and that is death itself. Whenever you feel you're out of line, brothers and sisters, just think about your own time when it comes, right? Those are the rumble strips that keep us on that path, all right? The other thing I want to share with you, this is personal, is we carry too much baggage, This weekend, you can ask my wife, we ordered a large giant bin and we threw a bunch of things that have just been sitting around. Brothers and sisters, we can't take this stuff with us. There are things that we have in our homes. Give it to people who can use them. Now, I was teasing my wife, I'm sharing something, she'll get angry with me, but we have our wedding gifts from 26 years ago, a few boxes that are still unopened. Why? Right? They're going to the Salvation Army or Goodwill. We're going to put those away to let someone use them. We're never going to use them. Brothers and sisters, when you do this, I feel so much lighter. I'm sharing my personal story here. I feel much lighter now that I've done that. The last thing I want on my mind as I'm taking my last breath is who's going to clean up my mess? Are my kids doing that? So think about that. It's time to let go. And also our relationships. That's the biggest baggage we carry. We complain about that weight of that bag when the airline charges when we go over. Brothers and sisters, that grave, we want to take no baggage with us. All right? That's a very costly bag. It's more than the $50 they charge in the airplanes, I promise you. At least that's my understanding. So let's work on that, okay, with each other. That said, there is a program that we have scheduled. It is at in December. The reason why I'm announcing it tonight is because this is going to sell out. Okay, this is a workshop that we have. You can put the next slide up, guys. It's Death and Barzakh, right? It is run by the Mizan Institute. Sheikh Amin Rastani will be here. The dates are going to be December 7th and 8th, Saturday, Sunday, I believe. And we have limited seats. Now, I'd like to sell out so I can go get a bigger spot, a bigger place where we can maybe take, right now at this facility here, we can accommodate about 50 people. The last workshop we ran here, we did sell out of space and it was kind of tight. So if we do that, I'm announcing this week to get you all to sign up. It'll be $40 per person. But this is a great course. I think some of our community members have been to this in other places that I've run it. But we've talked to Al Mizan. We have a series of workshops that we have planned for them. This is the first one. There are other ones that will be coming here in 25. Take advantage of this, brothers. So you get so much from this member, from our scholars that take the time to come share the knowledge with us from this member. But this workshops is another level. It really takes your knowledge and your own personal level to another point, right? So I really encourage everyone to register. This will open up on Thursday, and again, if we can get to 100 people, I'll get a nicer place. So we'll work on that. But again, please plan on attending this. With that, I want to welcome Sayyid Haider Kazwini. He will look familiar because he's the younger brother of Sayyid Saleh Kazwini, who's been here many times. Be nice to him, otherwise Sayyid Saleh will get on my case that we didn't take care of him. So I'm asking all of you to help me with this. But Sayyid Haider, he has spent many years in Najaf under the Kerbala, actually, under the tutelage of his grandfather in the Hawza. And he's young. He's currently studying to become a mechanical engineer. And, hopefully we'll see him more on the pulpit. But this is his first time here. Welcome. We'll look forward to more of your visits here. But if you can all stand and rise and help me welcome Sayyid Haider with the loud salawat.
Brothers and sisters, elders and youngsters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء وسيد المرسلين البشير النذير والسراج المنير العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا رسول الله صلى الله عليك يا سيدي ويا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله يا رحمة الله الواسعة ويا باب نجاة الأمة ويا عبرة كل مؤمن ومؤمنة ليتنا كنا معكم سيدي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. As a gift to the souls of your marhumin and the marhumin of the organizers and the coordinators of this majlis and the marhumin of everyone that attended this majlis and shed tears for Rasulullah and his progeny, let us recite Surah Al-Mubarakat Al-Fatiha مع الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. قال الله تعالى في محكم كتابه الكريم: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. 1435 years ago, on a night like this, the eve of the 28th of Safar, it was among the saddest moments in Islamic history when Muslims woke up on Monday, Yawm al-Ithnain, the 28th of Safar. It was their saddest day, the saddest day in Islam, the day that their caregiver and their supporter and their rahmah and their mercy had left them and departed this life. It was the departure of Khatamul Anbiya Muhammad. It was the day that the Holy Prophet departed this life. My dear brothers and sisters, among the saddest moments in Islamic history was the death of the Holy Prophet, where it was described as, by Muslims, as raziyatun ma mithluha raziyah, a tragedy, a calamity. There was no tragedy like it at that time. It was the biggest calamity that fell onto Muslims. The worst thing that happened to them is when Rasulullah left them. And as described by Sayyida Fatima alayhi salam, she says, فَتِلْكَ وَاللَّهُ النَّازِلَةِ الْكُبْرَى وَالْمُصِيبَةُ الْعُظْمَى. In her khutbah, she describes the day that her father left her. She says it was al-musiba al-uzma, the biggest calamity that struck the family of Ahlul Bayt, the biggest tragedy. And the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, all of them, the Imams of the Ahlul Bayt, they describe the day that the Holy Prophet was departed, the Holy Prophet's death, as the beginning of their tragedies. It was the start of their calamities and their masa'ib. It all started with the death of the Holy Prophet. My dear brothers and sisters, Ahlul Bayt were struck on that day, the day the Holy Prophet departed this life. And the Muslim Ummah, and not just the Muslim Ummah, the entire world lost this man. Khatamul Anbiya Muhammad, sallu alayhi bi'a'la aswatikum. They all lost him for his personality, for his character, for his influence and his impact on the Ummah. Be it Muslims, Christians, Jews, atheists, they were all influenced by this man, by his akhlaq. by his nobility, by his respect, by his honesty, by his trustworthiness. Everyone was influenced by this man. And until today, he is ranked as the #1 influential man in the world and the most popular figure in the world. Until today. They lost him for his legacy. My dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet transformed a community of people that were known to be ruthless thugs. They were truly ruthless thugs. They knew no civilization. They would loot, steal, and attack. And they would kill people. When they had neighbors, they would not handle that. They would steal. They would, as described in the Holy Quran, bury their daughters alive. And they would do sins left and right, according to the description of Ja'far al-Tayyar. Ja'far bin Abi Talib, the brother of Mawlana Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, where he says, "Kunna na'budu al-asnam, wa na'kulu al-mayta, wa na'ti al-fawahish, ya'kulu al-qawiyyu minna al-dha'if, wa nusi'u lil-jiwar, wa naqta'u al-arham, فكنا على ذلك حتى بعث الله فينا إلينا رسولا منا نعرف حسبه ونسبه محمد بن عبد الله." We would commit sins left and right, worship the idols, commit sins, and we would not fear anyone, and we would cut the relations with our family, steal and loot. Nothing stopped us until Allah bestowed His mercy and His blessings upon us by sending to us a prophet that is from us. We know his lineage and he knows us. It was Muhammad bin Abdullah. This was the description of Ja'far bin Abi Talib. My dear brothers and sisters, Rasulullah transformed them to a community that is described according to the Quran. Muhammadun Rasulullah walladhina ma'ahu ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar ruhama'a bainahum. Days ago, years ago, months ago, they were ruthless thugs. Within 23 years, the Holy Prophet changes them into a community that is praised in the Holy Quran. Muhammadun Rasulullah walladhina ma'ahu ashidda'u 'ala al-kuffar ruhama'a bainahum. They are firm and strict with the kuffar, but among each other, among the mu'mineen, among the believers, they show mercy and compassion. The Holy Prophet, my dear brothers and sisters, left a legacy in this life. Brother Amin was just saying moments ago that we will leave this earth one day. We will leave this life one day. And we will be buried in the earth. But all that it matters is the legacy that you leave behind. What have you done in this life? Today we come to commemorate the demise of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And we are here to shed tears for him and for his cousin Amir al-Mu'mineen and for his daughter Fatima and for his grandson Hassan and Hussein. However, we're not here just to cry and to shed tears. We are here, although that is important, but we are here to learn from the legacy of Rasulullah. The Holy Prophet left a legacy behind him. We have to leave a legacy behind us as well. Let us discuss the legacy that the Prophet left. Of course, if we want to talk about what the Prophet left and what attributes and qualities he had, we will not be able to finish today, tomorrow, and the day after. But I've summarized 5 legacies and qualities that the Holy Prophet left. My dear brothers and sisters, number 1 legacy and quality the Holy Prophet had was manners, was akhlaq. As Muslims, we need to pay attention how we treat others, especially when they are non-Muslims. Do we treat them with akhlaq? Have you asked yourself this question? I am a follower of this religion, Islam, and I am a follower and an adherent to the school of thought of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. Have I learned from the Ahlul Bayt their manners, their akhlaq, their honesty, their trustworthiness, and their forgiving? My dear brothers and sisters, when you look at the life of Rasulullah, you find nothing but akhlaq. All of his life was akhlaq. His entire existence was about akhlaq and about manners. My dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet is all about humanity, generosity, and forgiving. And his honesty, where he was known from the early days. Before Islam, he was known as As-Sadiqul Ameen. He was known as the honest and the trustworthy one in Mecca. People would travel, they're afraid a group of people would come and loot their family, steal their home, steal their equipment. They would ensure it with Rasulullah. He was honest and trustworthy. And when you look at the generosity of Rasulullah, it was a generosity like no other. It was a generosity that even continues after his demise and after his death. Because we recite Dua al-Tawassul and we say, Ya Allah, through the Holy Prophet, we seek refuge in you. Ya Rasul, Ya Allah, it is through the Ahlul Bayt, and on top of them, the Holy Prophet, he gives us his shafa'ah. That's a form of generosity of the Holy Prophet. And when you look at his forgiveness, he was known for forgiveness as well. One day he's sitting in the masjid praying. A man comes from behind of him and he tries to tackle the Prophet. He tackles the Prophet. He takes him to the ground and he tells him, Ya Muhammad, who's going to save you from me? The Holy Prophet tells him, Allah is going to save me from you. Subhanallah, miracle happens. Suddenly, Rasulullah is on top and this man is on the bottom. And Rasulullah tells him, now who is going to save you from me? The man looks at the Holy Prophet and he tells him, Afwuka wa rahmatuka ya Rasulullah. It is your mercy, your forgiveness is going to save me. He tells him, yes, I have forgiven you. Or have you seen a man that was kicked out of his hometown, of his own city, of his birthplace, Mecca? He's kicked out and he has to seek refuge in Africa and then in Medina, in Yathrib. He has to leave his own family. His family turns against him. They attack him. They hit him. They beat him. Imagine Rasulullah, the best of God's creation, the elite of God's creation. he was beaten to the ground. He had to leave that city. Then years and years later, 10 years later, the conquest of Mecca, he comes back, he tells them, how do you think I'm going to treat you? How do you think I'm going to pay you back? They tell him, Ya Rasulullah, Akhun Kareem wabnu akhin Kareem. You're a very good brother. You will treat us like a brother and like a nephew. That's how you will treat us. He tells them, Idhabu fa'antum tulaqa. Leave, I have freed you. As if they were under his authority, which they were. He could have easily sought revenge, but he left them. And that's where you see the khutbah of Sayyida Zainab comes handy. It shines when she tells Yazid, Amin al-adli ibn al-tulaqa. She tells him, you're the son of the ones that were freed by my grandfather. And now you are sitting on the throne. And you are taking the granddaughter of Rasulullah as a captive. My dear brothers and sisters, the forgiveness of Rasulullah was something else. It was truly something else. Where the one that killed his uncle, Hamza, a man by the name of Wahshi, who was the servant of Hind, the wife of Abu Sufyan, the mother of Muawiyah. He killed his uncle Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, in the battle of Uhud, the biggest catastrophe in Islam at that time. The biggest loss. Hamza, Sayyid al-Shuhada, the flag bearer, was killed. He comes years later to the Holy Prophet. He tells him, I want to enter Islam. And I want to believe in La ilaha illallah and in Muhammad Rasulullah. He tells him, sure, and I will forgive you. Rasulullah forgives him. My dear brothers and sisters, when we mention these stories, it's not just stories to cry for and to study the life of the Prophet. Of course, that is important. But we must learn. We must take those lessons and apply it to our life. Be forgiving. Be merciful. Be compassionate with others, especially your community members. And my dear brothers and sisters, the second quality and legacy that was left by the Holy Prophet was his commitment and dedication. No one had the commitment of Rasulullah. No one had the dedication that the Holy Prophet had. A man who was beaten, almost killed, attacked multiple times, him and his family, his uncle Hamza was killed, yet that does not stop him. He was abandoned and he was secluded in Mecca for a period of time. And he was boycotted. That did not stop him from spreading the message, from spreading the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It reached an extent where they offered him a bribery. They told him, we'll give you whatever you want. Just leave. Or stop what you're doing. Stop spreading this message. Let us do what we want to do. Let us worship whoever we want to worship. Stop annoying us. They called him a magician, a liar, and they called him a poet. That did not stop him. He tells them, if you put the sun in my right and put the moon in my left, I will not stop the word, spreading the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. والله يا عم لو وضعوا الشمس في يميني والقمر في شمالي على أن أترك هذا الأمر ما تركته إلا أن يظهره الله أو أهلك دونه. Only if Allah spreads it on His own or I die. There's no way I will stop from spreading the message of Allah subhanahu. The dedication, the commitment was a unique one, was a unique aspect in the Holy Prophet's life. He lost his city, his house, his family, his uncle Hamza, and then his uncle Abu Talib, and then his wife Khadija. That never stopped him. He never complained, Ya Allah, I'm spreading your message. Why testing me? Why trying me? Why allowing me face difficulties? Because Rasulullah had strong and firm commitment and dedication. He was dedicated for spreading the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Another legacy and quality the Prophet left was his wisdom. Was his wisdom. My dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet went far and beyond, and he was a wise man. The Holy Prophet would show wisdom when dealing with people. And another quality, communicating with others. And he was socially active. And he was socially interacting with others. Right now, we find sometimes community leaders and scholars, with all respect to all of them, but they're not that active with others. Sometimes we request others to attend our majalis all the time. We always say, come to the majalis. The Prophet, if they don't come to him, he goes to them. That was the Holy Prophet's quality. He would go to them, go to their homes, speak with them, listen to their problems. They would vent out to him. Because Rasulullah, Allah describes him, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. Everyone should benefit from Rasulullah. Whether they are Muslim, Christians, Jews, be it whoever. They benefit from this man. They would vent out to him, complain to him, seek knowledge from him. My dear brothers and sisters, he was active in his society. And that's a lesson for us. Be active. Alhamdulillah, Allah has blessed this community. It's not a very large community, but alhamdulillah, this community comes together during their majalis, during their programs, during the mawlids, during the masa'ib. We come together in remembrance of Muhammad wa Ali Muhammad. However, we must learn this lesson from the Ahlul Bayt. If you know someone from your own community that needs support, financial support, you must stand for him. If they need mental support, stand for them. Emotional support, stand for them. This is what we learn from the Holy Prophet. And this is what we learn from the Holy Prophet's life and his legacy. My dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet was wise when dealing with people. He knew what to say to people. He knew when he should be gentle and lenient, and he knew when he should be firm and strict. The Holy Prophet would speak to a person as their level of understanding. He knew when to say harsh words, and he knew when to say soft words. Of course, with respect, and with akhlaq, and with manners. But we must not, he never compromised his faith. He never compromised his religion for people's benefit. For people's benefit. My dear brothers and sisters, for example, there was a man, and this is also a story that shows you the forgiveness and the akhlaq of Rasulullah. In addition to his communicating with people, to his communication with people. A man was a neighbor of the Holy Prophet. And this man was a Jewish man. Every day he wakes up and he puts garbage, trash, throws it at the house of the Holy Prophet. Imagine throwing garbage on the walls of Rasulullah, his home. Muslimin, they come to the Prophet, they tell him, Ya Rasulullah, allow us to punish this man. He deserves punishment. Look how he's treating you. He tells them no. One day the Holy Prophet wakes up, there's no garbage. Where's the trash? They say, yeah, this man, alhamdulillah, he's sick. That's why he's not bothering you. He's sick, and that's why he's not throwing the garbage anymore. He tells them, if he's sick, that means we have to go and visit him. He takes a group of Muslims to his house. As he enters the house, this man gets up. He thinks the Prophet comes to kill him, comes to seek revenge. He tells him, why are you here? He tells him, I came just to check up on you. Are you doing good? Any medication needed? Anything needed? Tell us. He tells him, are you sure that's what you want? He tells him, yes. He tells him, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa annaka Rasulullah. My dear brothers and sisters, he shows respect. He's soft with someone, lenient with someone. This man becomes a Muslim. On the other hand, with the Jews of Bani Qurayza in Medina, they betrayed the Holy Prophet. There was a contract, there was a deal that you leave us alone, stay in Medina, leave us alone, and we'll leave you alone. They betray and they attack the Muslims left and right through battles and by sending spies into Medina. So they betray that contract. They betray that covenant. The Holy Prophet was harsh with them. The Holy Prophet was harsh with them. My dear brothers and sisters, he had wisdom. He knew when to be harsh and he knew when to be soft. He knew when to be lenient and he knew when to be firm. This was the Holy Prophet. One day, the Holy Prophet is doing tashyi' of a janazah of his companion by the name of Mus'ab bin Umayr. He's walking in his janazah. Behind him, all of the believers, all of the Muslimin, they walk behind the Prophet. And the Holy Prophet takes this man into his grave. Imagine, Rasulullah does your tashyi', he does your takfeen, he does your ghusl, and he takes you into your grave and he wraps him with his abaya. He wraps him with his aba, with his own clothing. His mother, the mother of the deceased person, Mus'ab bin Umayr, he says, Hani'an laka, ya Mus'ab. Hani'an lak. I'm so happy for you are going into paradise. Easily. Look how the Prophet is treating you. You are blessed. You are lucky. The Holy Prophet tells her, don't rush. don't say that he's going into Jannah. لا تعجلي على الله. Right now, Mus'ab, your son, although he is a companion and a believer, but he is being squeezed in his grave for how he used to treat his spouse. My dear brothers and sisters, why did I mention this story? The Prophet was wise. He would be harsh sometimes, and when I say harsh, he was never disrespectful. No, he was firm. And sometimes he's lenient. At this point, he had to show a sign of firm, that don't just feel and believe that if the Prophet is doing your tashyi', you get a fast pass into heaven. No. Allah will judge you based on your deeds and your a'mal. My dear brothers and sisters, how did the Ummah treat the Holy Prophet? I ask you this question. How did the Ummah pay the Prophet back? They attack him. They attack his family. They attack his cousin and his brother and his nafs, Ali ibn Abi Talib. They attack the house of Fatima after him. The tragedies, all of it started with the death of the Prophet, where the house of Fatima and Ali was attacked. They came to the house and they burned the house and they burned the door. Fatima was killed due to that incident. And then days later, the Khilafah was hijacked from Ali ibn Abi Talib. Years later, his grandson Al-Imam Al-Hassan was poisoned. 50 years later, Imam Al-Hussein, his only grandson, was killed in the most brutal way. According to a Sunni scholar, he says, Al-Allam Al-Bayruni, he says, لَقَدْ قَتَلُوا الْحُسَيْنَ قَتْلَهُ مَا قُتِلَ بِهَا أَحَدٌ مِنَ الْعَالَمِينَ. Imam Al-Hussein was killed in a fashion where no one was killed. No one was killed like this man. To kill Imam Al-Hussein, they used swords, spears, arrows, rocks, everything in their disposal they used to kill this man, the only grandson of the Holy Prophet. And you would imagine Imam Al-Hussein would be killed by non-Muslims, by another group. But no, he was killed by Muslims, people that worshipped Allah, prayed, and read the Quran. They went against their Prophet and his household. My dear brothers and sisters, the Holy Prophet was betrayed. The Holy Prophet, his only request from his ummah was أوصيكم بأهل بيتي خيرا. All that I need from you. قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إلا المودة في القربة. I don't want money from you. I don't want wealth. I'm not asking for anything. All I need from you is to treat my family properly. Treat them nicely. Be compassionate with them. How did the Muslims treat the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How did they betray their own Prophet and stood against his family? My dear brothers and sisters, just days before the death of the Holy Prophet, the Muslims, they are in disagreement among themselves. The Holy Prophet had ordered them to leave the city of Medina and to join the army, the battalion of Usama bin Zayd, so that it would be a peaceful transition of Khilafah from Rasulullah to Amir al-Mu'mineen. However, they knew that the Holy Prophet was planning for something. And they knew that the Holy Prophet, his life was coming to an end. So they don't join. A group of Muslims senior Sahaba, they don't join the battalion of Osama bin Zayd, and they stay in Medina. They tell him, Ya Rasulullah, your health is not well, and it seems like you're going to die soon. We love you and we want to stay with you. But it seemed like they were planning for something. They were planning for a transition of Khilafah, and they were planning to hijack Khilafah from Ali ibn Abi Talib. My dear brothers and sisters, just days before the Ithnain, just days before the Monday that the Prophet was killed, on that Thursday they planned and they gathered under the Saqifa. And they planned and they plot to hijack the Khilafah from Amir al-Mu'mineen. And just days, maybe the last Salat al-Jama'ah of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. The Holy Prophet is very ill. The Holy Prophet is very sick. He's bedridden. He can't enter the masjid. He can't walk. He hears that Abu Bakr is about to lead the prayers. So he gets up and he stands up, putting one hand, one shoulder on Ali ibn Abi Talib, and the left shoulder on Al-Fadl ibn Abbas, his other cousin. And he tells them, take me to my mihrab, take me to my musalla. They take him. He removes Abu Bakr and he doesn't allow him to pray and lead the prayer. He leads the prayer. After that prayer, perhaps the last prayer of Rasulullah. Imagine Muslimin, all of them praying behind this man. After that, this man is sick. The Holy Prophet cannot stand no longer. His khutbah, he would stand. He tells them, bring me something, let me sit on. I cannot stand. He sits and he tells them, O believers, أوصيكم بأهلي خيرا. I am going to leave. إني تارك فيكم الثقلين كتاب الله وعترتي أهل بيتي. Stay holding the book of Allah and my family. Behind me I am leaving two weighty things, the Quran and my family. Treat them properly. Treat them nicely. Stick to the Quran and my Ahlul Bayt. How did they treat Ahlul Bayt after you, Ya Rasulullah? How did they treat your Hassan and your Hussein, Ya Rasulullah? My dear brothers and sisters, then Rasulullah, he tells them, whoever I have hurt, I have assaulted, I have done anything wrong, and if I have wronged you, please come and say, today let me know, because I cannot handle the stand again in front of Allah on the day of judgment. I cannot handle being punished on the day of judgment in front of Allah. Imagine Rasulullah says those words. They tell him, Ya Rasulullah, what have you done? All that you have done was great things. One man by the name of Sawada ibn Qais, he stands up and he tells him, Ya Rasulullah, you have wronged me. They tell him, Ya Sawada, what are you saying? What has the Prophet done to you? He tells him, true, have I wronged you, O Sawada? He tells him, yes, Ya Rasulullah. One day you're sitting on your camel and you had a whip in your hand, and accidentally your whip touched my stomach and it hurt me. And there was a mark left on my body, on my stomach. So, Ya Rasulullah, I want to take revenge today because you're saying, because this is your request, Ya Rasulullah. He tells him, okay, come, Ya Sawada. Sawada comes and he tells Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, I want to use the same whip that you use against me, that you hurt me with. Rasulullah looks at Bilal and he tells Bilal, Ya Bilal, go to my house and tell Fatima, your father wants that whip. Bilal goes to the house of Rasulullah and he knocks the door. Fatima opens the door. He tells her, oh Fatima, I want the whip. Your father wants the whip. She tells him, my father is bedridden, he is ill. What is he going to do with that whip? He tells her, Ya Sayyidat al-Nisa, give me that whip. Sawada wants to seek revenge from Rasulullah because the Prophet had wronged him before. She tells him, Ya Bilal, please tell Sawada to forgive the Prophet. Please tell Sawada that my father is ill and he cannot be hurt at this time and at this moment. He takes the whip and he goes to the masjid. He gives the stick, the whip, to Sawada, and he tells him, Ya Sawada, do your thing right now. Sawada takes the whip and he looks at the Prophet. He tells the Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, when the whip touched my stomach was revealed. My body was revealed. There was no cover, no shirt on my body. He tells him, so you please reveal your stomach, Ya Rasulullah. The Muslimin, they are all looking, Ya Sawada, what are you doing? This is Rasulullah. You're truly going to hit him? He tells the Prophet, reveal your stomach. The moment Rasulullah reveals his stomach, Sawada falls onto the stomach of Rasulullah, kissing the body of Rasulullah. And he says, Astaghfirullah, Ya Rasulullah, how can I, Sawada, how can I dare hit your body? How can I dare hit your stomach, Ya Rasulullah? I just did this just to kiss your body, Ya Rasulullah. And I seek nearness to Allah through your body, Ya Rasulullah. So Rasulullah looks at Sawada and he tells him, Ya Sawada, ata'fu am taqtas? Are you here to punish or you're going to forgive me? Tell me what you want to do. He tells him, no, Ya Rasulullah, I have forgiven you. Of course I have forgiven you. You are Rasulullah. Then Rasulullah raises his hand and he said, Allahumma afu an Sawada kama afa an nabiyik. Ya Allah, forgive Sawada and erase all of his sins just like he forgave your Prophet Muhammad. My dear brothers and sisters, the final moments, Rasulullah is in his house. Surrounding him was Fatima and Ali and Hassan and Hussein and Salama. And whenever they leave him, he would tell them, bring me my Habib, bring me my friend and my beloved Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib said, Rasulullah, I would always place his head in my lap, and I witnessed everything Rasulullah occurred to him. I witnessed everything Rasulullah occurred to him. My dear brothers and sisters, Rasulullah would tell Ali ibn Abi Talib, bring your children to my home. Bring Hassan and Hussein to my home. He would tell him, Ya Rasulullah, but you are ill. They're going to bother you. They're going to run around. They're going to make noises. He tells him, Ya Ali, bring them, for I want to see them one last time. And then they come to the house of Rasulullah, and then Rasulullah hugs them and kisses them, Hassan and Hussein. They go on to the chest of Rasulullah, hugging him and kissing him. Imam Ali and Sayyida Fatima, they try to remove Hassan and Hussein from the chest of the Prophet. The Prophet tells him, no, leave them, for they are going to be oppressed and killed by my own people. They are going to be killed. Hassan is going to be poisoned after me. Hussein is going to be beheaded. Hussein is going to be slaughtered thirsty after me. Leave them on my chest. He would kiss them and hug them, and he would say, Husaynun minni wa ana min Husayn. Ya Rasulullah, only if you know what happened to Hussein after you. Sayyida Fatima, Imam Ali, Hassan and Hussein, they are surrounding the Prophet. All of a sudden, she hears a knocker knocking the door. She goes in to open the door to see who it is. She sees a man. She tells him, he tells her, I want to see Rasulullah. She tells him, Rasulullah is busy. He's very ill. He cannot speak. He cannot do anything. That man goes away. The knocker comes back, says the same thing. She tells him, go away. The Prophet is very ill. The knocker comes on a third time. The Prophet tells her from inside the house, Ya Fatima, Ya Bunayya, Ya Fatima, allow this man to enter the house, for he is the angel of death, and he is seeking permission to take my soul. By Allah, he has never sought permission before me, nor after me he will seek permission from anyone. He only seeks permission from me. Allow him to enter. Malik al-Maut enters the house of Rasulullah, and he says, Assalamu alaikum ya ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum ya ala wahyillah. Atadhanu li bid-dukhul. The Holy Prophet allows him to enter, and he tells him, do your job, ya Malik al-Maut. Jibreel comes down from the skies. Rasulullah tells him, Habibi ya Jibreel, where have you been? You're always around me, but when I need you in the most difficult times, you disappear. He tells him, Ya Rasulullah, I went to decorate the heavens. The Hur are waiting for you. Hur al-Ain are waiting for you. Heaven had to be decorated for your honor, Ya Rasulullah. And then, Ya Mu'mineen, Rasulullah, his head is in the lap of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Ali ibn Abi Talib said Malak al-Maut started taking the soul of Rasulullah. فَمَدَّ يَدَيْهِ وَرِجْلَيْهِ. The Holy Prophet, he spread his hand and his legs and his limbs. وَفَارَقَتْ رُوحُهُ الدُّنْيَا. أَيْنَ الْمُنَادِي يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ وَمُحَمَّدًا وَسَيِّدًا وَنَبِيًّا. Ya Rasulullah, you have left us. Ya Rasulullah, your soul departed this earth, this life, and Fatima was left alone, without a supporter, without a defender, without someone that can comfort her and console her soul. Sayyidah Fatima would cry and weep for the tragedy of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. The only man that stood with Rasulullah after his death was Ali ibn Abi Talib. He did his ghusl, he did his takfeen, and then he buried the holy body of Rasulullah alone. The rest of the Muslims were all thinking about Khilafah and authority. Ali ibn Abi Talib was the only one with Rasulullah at that moment. But I just want to say one thing, Ya Rasulullah. Ya Rasulullah, your soul was taken and you were surrounded with your family. Your head was in the lap of Ali. Hassan and Hussein were in front of you. Fatima al-Zahra was next to you. But Ya Rasulullah, you know what happened to Hussein on the 10th of Muharram, on the plains of Karbala? He was calling out for help. Allah hal min Nasir, Allah hal min Mu'een, Allah hal min Dhabbin yadhabbu anna. Is there anyone to support? Is there anyone to help and stand with us? The Ahl al-Bayt. Imam al-Hussein, the treatment that he received, no one received that kind of treatment. They killed him and they attacked him, and then after his death, after his martyrdom, A group of horses came to trample over the body of Hussein, and then a group of soldiers headed towards his camp and his tent. They lit his tent on fire, burning the tents while children and women were in those tents. The children and the women, they start running from tent to tent seeking refuge. Inna lillah وإنا إليه راجعون. وسيعلم الذين ظلموا آل محمد أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. نسألك اللهم وندعوك باسمك العظيم الأعظم الأعز الأجل الأكرم يا الله. Everyone, let us recite this dua. Let us recite this ayat al-mubarakah. أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه. 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 اللهم نقسم عليك بأعز الخلق إليك محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة محمد وآل محمد، وفي الآخرة شفاعة محمد وآل محمد. Everyone say آمين. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة الحسين. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة الحسين. اللهم ارزقنا في الدنيا زيارة الحسين. اللهم ارزقنا في الآخرة شفاعة الحسين. اللهم احشرنا مع الحسين ومع أصحاب الحسين وأهل الحسين وأهل البيت. والفاتحة إلى أرواح المؤمنين والمؤمنات مسبوقة بالصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. Ya Hussein, 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 Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर। लैला के लब पे हरदम रहता था एक नाला। लैला के लब पे हरदम रहता था एक नाला। वो था तो उसके दम से घर में था एक उजाला। तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अकबर। सुगरा ने खत में लिखा दिल मुज़तरब है मेरा। सुगरा ने खत में लिखा दिल मुज़तरब है मेरा। रह रह के छा रहा है आँखों तले अंधेरा। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर। कट जाएंगे वो गेसू सब खाक में लहू में। कट जाएंगे वो गेसू सब खाक में लहू में। ये दिन भी देखने थे सहरे की आरज़ू में। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अकबर। खुर्शीद सा वो चेहरा रंगत में था सुनहरा। खुर्शीद सा वो चेहरा रंगत में था सुनहरा। पलकों की चिलमनों पर था अबरुओं का पहरा। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर। सुनते हैं उसका चेहरा सब खून में भर गया था। सुनते हैं उसका चेहरा सब खून में भर गया था। और कहते हैं उसके दिल में नेज़ा उतर गया था। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अकबर। ज़ैनब से हो के रुखसार जबरन को वो चला था। ज़ैनब से हो के रुखसार जबरन को वो चला था। पर कोई बढ़ के उसके माथे को चूमता था। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर। फिर ईद आई सबने पहने नए लिबादे। फिर ईद आई सबने पहने नए लिबादे। और आए नहीं पलट कर उम्मत के शाहज़ादे। आँखें तरस गई हैं अकबर के देखने को। अली
अली अकबर, अली अकबर, अली अकबर, या हुसैन, 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 या हुसैन। फिजा तेरी वफा की हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा तेरी वफा की हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा तेरी वफा की हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा वफा की हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है। ज़ैनब के साथ तू भी बाजार में खड़ी है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा की हद आखिरी यही है। तूने तो सैयदों का आबाद घर भी देखा, और किस तरह हुआ वो बर्बाद घर भी देखा, किसने किसे सताया तू खूब जानती है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है। जब हसन का जनाजा वापस है घर में आया, फरवा के साथ रोकर कासिम गले लगाया, लाशे हसन से तू भी रही तीर खींचती है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा आखिरी यही है। बांधी हुई रसन में ज़ैनब जो शाम आई, तेरी कमर के पीछे छुपती थी ज़हरा जाई, हर मोड़ पे दिलासे ज़ैनब को दे रही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है। जब रोती थी सकीना हर बार चुप कराया, और गश्त पाक आबिद को तूने भी जगाया, ज़ैनब के साथ झिड़के फिजा भी खा रही है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है, फिजा आखिरी यही है। आले नबी पे गम की बुनियाद है सकीफा, दिन रात अब हसन तो अपना यही वजीफा, जिसने इन्हें रुलाया वो शख्स लानती है, फिजा हद आखिरी यही है फिजा की हद आखिरी यही है या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन या हुसैन अल्लाहुम्मा
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليك يا رسول الله السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء السلام عليك يا حسن المصطفى السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك ابن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن عجل الله فرجك وسهل الله مخرجك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.